This is the Airframe helmet. This is the newest helmet from Icon. While this is not the most expensive helmet we have, it's actually the most technologically advanced. There's a lot of things that go into making a very, very good helmet. One of those things is safety, which we've answered with the Snell approval and the DOT approval. Another thing that we've answered with this particular product is people are looking for a helmet that doesn't make them too hot. They're looking for ventilation. And honestly, there's not hardly a helmet around that offers decent ventilation until the Airframe came out. And I'll show you how some of that works. But quite simply, a lot of people, they got it wrong when they're making helmets. They put holes in the styrene liner on the inside. Remember, the styrene liner is the part that saves your life. This is a styrene liner out of an Airframe helmet. And where it may not look very sexy, this does a heck of a lot. Not only does this save your life, but this is where all the ventilation holes go. And we had to invent a specific system in order to create the holes in here that vent properly at all speeds, get the air in and get the air back out again. We had to actually invent this system. What we've done here is there's very, very large openings in the front right there. There's some straight up and down holes right here, which is exhaust. There's some very large exhaust ports right here. But the biggest difference between ours and just about anybody else is the angle that they come in at. That may not sound like much, but when you look at a helmet like this, and you realize as this is going down the road and it's pointing down in about a direction like this is on top of your head, a lot of people think that the air just flows directly into these vents right there, or anywhere else on anybody else's vents. But it doesn't actually work quite that way. All the air that hits the front of this helmet has to go somewhere. It doesn't just disappear. So as all the air hits the front of this, it wants to rise up over the top. So the air doesn't just go directly in there. You have air coming at these vents from this direction right there. And as it comes at it from this direction right there, if it has to go into holes that are in the styrene liner on the inside that go straight down like the molded ones in here that are just these top ones, which is the way that everybody else manufactures their helmets, not us, then it means that the air has to turn about a 90-degree turn in order to go down through those vents, through where your head is, and then back out the back. And it just doesn't work that well. Does not flow a lot of air. We've solved that by putting angled, very, very large angled holes in the front. In fact, these are so large that it was very difficult for us to make this helmet do exactly what it needed to do in safety. But we did. What we did is we created a large carbon fiber patch that covers those large openings right there. And that means that this does pass the most stringent safety standards in the world that has actual spike penetration tests in it. So that means even though you have these very, very large holes there, we found a way of keeping the helmet so that it passes all of those standards. So we've done a very, very good job putting those holes in. How does it actually work in your riding? Guys, ladies, you just have to try one. If you've ever get tired of taking your helmet off on a ride and having your hair soaked, just plastered up against your skull, this is the way to solve it, is with the Airframe helmet. Now, that's not all. This isn't just a pretty face that keeps you cool. There's a lot of other things built into this. This is a very light helmet. It's made of a combination of carbon fiber, Dyneema, and aramid. So it keeps the shell very, very light. Another thing that we've done with the interior of this helmet is this is shaped in such a way that once it's on your helmet, it almost holds itself in place. Yes, of course, you need the chin strap system, but we angle this towards you so it comes down towards your face down at the bottom. You can actually feel right here areas that cup the chin right here, because what you want to do when you're riding at high speed is you don't want your helmet buffeting around and jumping around on top of your head. So this is one of the ways that we accomplish that, is by pulling in this area here. You won't find that with most other helmets. This whole system that on the inside right there too, it is a completely removable, washable liner system. And guys, ladies, when you do go to wash your liner, wash it in baby shampoo. Not just for Icon helmets, for all helmets, all goggles for that matter, because regular laundry detergent stays in the foam to a certain degree. When it does stay in the foam, when you go to wash it out, a little bit always is in there, and that means that when you sweat in it, that laundry detergent drips down in your eyes and it stings. Baby shampoo, no more tears, no more stinging as well. Very, very good way to do it. Another thing about all this removable system on the inside right there, there's 6 different thicknesses of cheek pads. Which means when you buy this helmet, you get it to fit you correctly, and it fits you around the crown of your head the way it should. If it's a little bit too tight or a little bit too loose in the cheek area, very simple to buy those cheek pads and custom fit the helmet to fit exactly the way you need it to fit, and it will stay that way. Another thing that we put in here is it's a defogging system. You always want fresh air going onto the inside, but yet even if you don't have that defogging system, this is a fog-free shield that comes on all new Icon helmets. Another system we built on here too is called the Pro Lock. The Pro Lock means that every time you flip up this shield and you flip it back down again, there's a hole in the shield right there. It slides over that chrome pin. It holds the shield down. If you've ever looked behind you in traffic to make sure that it's okay to make a lane change, you want to know where your buddies are back there, sometimes the shield will pop open on other people's helmets. It will not happen on this one here, because what that happens when you turn around behind you is the air comes up this way and forces it open. Because there's that pin there, it doesn't. And it's automatic. Every time you close it, it locks it down. One other thing that we did there too, the ugliest part of virtually every helmet made is that shield release mechanism that's right here. We've covered it up with a plate. Now, some people say, I don't want a side plate system in my helmet because those things make noise. They create wind noise. This one does not. Watch this side plate right here when I open and close the shield. You notice that it travels with the shield. What we've done is we've attached it onto the shield. By attaching it directly, almost airtight onto that shield, you don't have an air passage for it to go through, and that's what would create that whistling noise. All we did was made like a shield or a graphic extension panel that covers up that area. So it's got a little bit of a different look, a little bit unusual. Once you get used to it, it's a fantastic way to do it. How do you get that thing back off there? You don't have to buy a special shield every time you change it. This is a shield that's one of those Pro shields right there, and you see it's got the side plate on it. When you want it to come off, it just pops off, and you can pop it right back on again. So when you go to change from a clear shield to a smoke shield, all you do is you take your side plates off, you put them back on again. But again, they're attached to the shield, not attached to the helmet. So this is the Airframe helmet. It's our most technologically advanced helmet. It's the helmet that we're most proud of. If you're looking for a helmet that's lightweight, very, very safe, and also gives you the ventilation that you've been wishing for years and years and years as a motorcyclist, this is the one to do it, the Icon Airframe helmet.